Alright guys, the games are officially over. It's now to go over the good, the bad, and the ugly. I'm sure everyone's wondering how I ended up doing this weekend. So as far as sports betting's concerned, I netted a profit of $518, and where that came from was I bet a total, let me read it over, I bet a total of $950 on the Patriots with the spread. Where I lost out on was I lost 200s betting the Green Bay Packers and the Patriots with the spread. And I also lost another 200 betting the New England Patriots and the under of that game. And then I really thought the under was a lock this game, and it did not take out my way, but I did do a $32 risk amount with the Patriots, the under, and the Falcons because I was that unsure about the Packers, where that ended up, unfortunately, I was all over that, except the over did hit in the Pittsburgh New England game, so I lost that. So a total of $1,500 in risk. My $950 bet did win, less juice. I netted $518. Now to DraftKings, before we go into the good, bad, and ugly, I risked a total of $1,614 in total, and I came back with $1,261. All right, so total for the weekend, I did make $162, which I am not happy about at all. As you guys know, I took extreme risk with fading Rodgers and Ryan and pretty much everything. And with Brady only being $100 less in price tag of Ryan, Brady needed to come through with the same exact points or more than Ryan, and he did and almost had the opportunity. I was up to even money except for the last plays of the game when that nobody and the Steelers got the extra touchdown, and I would have wanted very good money if that didn't happen. Or actually not won very good money, but I would have not lost money in that factor. So at least I won plus 162 for the weekend. So let's talk about the good, bad, and ugly. First and foremost, let's talk about Taylor Gabriel. So I did not have Taylor Gabriel locked into 300 lineups. I did have him locked into a 150 lineup set, but I did not have him. I did have him played, but not locked into the other 150 lineup set. So those 300 lineups, and what that ended up correlating to was a huge lesson for all of you fantasy players out here. What happened in this game? First of all, this game was completely crazy. It should not have ended up the way it did. Ty Montgomery, the injury first quarter was huge. Missed field goal first quarter was huge. Fumble in the red zone within the 10-yard line was huge. These three things that happened were a complete change in this whole game flow, the spread, everything that occurred. And you can't be mad about that. That's what happens in NFL. But I saw a couple comments on the videos. Everyone's laughing. Oh, how's your Gabriel pick? How's your Packers pick? Hey, I won money this weekend. Not enough, but I did win a little bit money. And we're going to talk to you about how that did and didn't happen. So with Taylor Gabriel, guys, if you watched the game fully and completely, the first pass of the game, what does Taylor Gabriel go and do? Drops a wide open pass for himself. Starting off the game with the best cornerback wide receiver matchup, boom, you see Taylor Gabriel and go and drops that pass. So what does that do? Well, as far as the Sirius XM hosts, which are some of the top minds in daily fantasy or just season-long fantasy football sports, they'll tell you this, that when a player does that, it changes the perspective of not only his mindset as the receiver, he loses confidence in himself, but also Matt Ryan loses confidence in him. So you will see how this pans out when Taylor Gabriel was wide open in the end zone and Matt Ryan did not throw to him. And why psychologically? Well, that missed pass can be a big part of it. So what happens again? Taylor Gabriel gets his second opportunity of the game in the first half. And it's going to be a nice little run play to him, a fake run route where they snap it directly to him. And what does he do with his second opportunity of the game? Drops the ball, near fumble for the Packers to recover. So on the first play of the game, he loses his faith and the mindset of Matt Ryan. On the second play and his second opportunity, he loses the faith of the coaches. And what happens from there on out from the game? You did not see Taylor Gabriel very much in their game plan or their lineups or their formations. And for that, he screwed us. So far as my locks of the week, that goes over Taylor Gabriel and exactly what happened with him. I can't hate on making that decision on putting him in a lock on a 2-game spread. I would never do that if it was a full game slate. But for him to be on that 2-game slate, I'm more than okay with that 150 lineups where him being a lock. And those are unfortunately the lineups where I did lose money because on the opposite side of the 150 lineups, I was all over Freeman, I was all over Hogan, and I was all over Julio Jones. Now, what else of my locks did not work out? The Patriots defense. Now, I'm not going to hate on this pick here. The Patriots defense were definitely projected to be the highest scorers. And for what happened in the Atlanta Falcons game, I mean, none of you could have predicted this. I only picked 2 tight ends of the week. As you know, Marty Bennett did not perform to value, but Jared Cook performed much to value. He hit 4x value. And then the one player I was actually worried about was Jesse James, who did end up getting that, garbage touchdown, but it is what it is. So if you guys did listen to me this week and you followed me, I did make some good changes and some good plays that need to be noted. If you followed my Sunday update video, which was technically part 3 of this, I took Allison out of almost every single one of my lineups and put in Eli Rodgers, and that worked out very well. I think he got 4 to 5 times the total points as Allison would have gotten, and that was due to Jordy Nelson playing, which was a huge worry for me, especially, like I said, I knew he would be low owned. He was only 4% owned this week, guys. And I said if he had that 100-yard touchdown game, he might be in the top finisher. And I'm actually going to look right now. So for the contests where I did enter Coleman, Sanu, and Gabriel, all his locks. And as you know, I faded Sanu. Unfortunately, he ended up paying off. I faded Coleman, which he definitely hit value. And then I faded Gabriel in those lineups. I entered $600 worth of lineups with those. I netted $299. But with the other 450 of lineups, I netted 466. I hit another 12 for 18. I had $300 worth of lineups that hit for 350. I hit $40 worth of lineups that hit for 51. And overall, netted some money this weekend, and I can't be mad about that. But that Gabriel thing is a huge thing for you guys to learn. When things don't go your way right away, it's definitely looking in the negative direction. At least my lock on Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell were right on the nose. Neither of them hit value, and then as you guys know, Le'Veon Bell did end up getting injured this game. And I'm just trying to look at the first place lineups if they did end up hitting with Jordy Nelson. Wow, so someone did hit for the $100,000 with Matt Ryan. It did work out. But guess what? A total scrub won the $100,000. And want to know why? Because he played D'Angelo Williams. And when you play D'Angelo Williams, guys, you are banking on Le'Veon Bell getting injured. This was a completely scrub play. And this is a complete example of why actually all the big money winners this weekend were inexperienced DFS players who ended up getting the payoff for something that is completely random. D'Angelo Williams ends up with 23 fantasy points, the lowest cost running back at a $3,000 salary at 0.4% ownership. And he wins someone $100,000, and I'm a little salty for seeing that, because when you see plays like that, I mean, this guy was on the notion of, hey, I'm going to play low ownership, but that should not have happened. But I will admit my wrong lock on the Patriots D only scored five fantasy points to the Falcons 6, but with that missed field goal and that missed touchdown opportunity with the fumble, I can live with that, because I definitely think the highest ceiling still, with the Patriots only performing 5 to the 6 points, definitely was the Patriots. They could have scored 20 fantasy points this week, and the Falcons, I did not see that happening. Brady, 1 or 2 more touchdowns, maybe I'd be the one of the guys up in the top here. But no, the winning lineup for $100,000, Matt Ryan, Coleman, and the reason why Coleman's in there over Freeman, like we talked about, even though he didn't score as much, he hit better value. And D'Angelo Williams, 0.4% owned. Guys, this is how you win GPPs, by doing some crazy shit like this. Sometimes does work. D'Angelo Williams at 0.4% owned. I'm not surprised seeing him in the top $100,000 lineup. The second I saw Bell get injured, D'Angelo Williams is by far the best, probably backup running back you can have in the league. And when he got to play the way he got to play in the second he got that touchdown, I did see this coming, and I'm just shaking my head at all the people that did put him in. Obviously, 0.4% owned, very minimal chance, but you can see how plays like that do pay off. I did need Brady to meet Ryan's expectations, and the running backs did not run them into the end zone. Even Devontae Freeman, who I thought was the best running back of the slate this week, his 1 touchdown was a pass catch, and that is what killed me. I was almost there. Tom Brady, 30 fantasy points to Matt Ryan's 42. That could not make me a winner. I did not profit this week. I did go 10 for 10 on picking the winning teams this playoffs, and I'm 9 for 10 with the spread. So overall, I am still pretty happy. My total net from the fantasy playoffs at sports betting right now is $3,640 in 3 weeks, and I'm not going to hate on that. But this week, I am not a DraftKings. Brady did not show up. I almost broke even until the last few plays of the game, unfortunately. But overall, I can't complain. If fading Le'Veon Bell was a great play for you, or if you listened to my third video about taking out Allison and putting Eli Rodgers, and that made you guys some money, I want to hear about your comments. Please put them in the section. Tell me if anything I said made you some money. Even though I only netted very few dollars this week, $162, I would feel very good about myself if any of the listeners did make themselves some money this weekend from doing anything I said. And if you guys were the ones that played D'Angelo Williams, congratulations. That will never be me. I will not be that 0.4% unless I have very good reason for it. But for those guys that did do that and that paid off, congratulations to you. As far as next week's videos, I do want to talk about golf. This is my second week playing in the PGA tournament. And this week, my top place was 97th place out of 100,000 lineups. What we ended up finishing in the top, let me see here. My top lineup finished 1219 out of over 100,000. And this is only the second week playing PGA. So next week's videos will go very more in depth of playing different DFS sports, which ones are similar, which ones are different, and what to look for when making money in those. I thank all the new subscribers. I appreciate all the likes that you do put on my videos. That only doesn't give advantage of me, but it gives advantage of other people like you trying to see this type of information that you're most not likely getting from other sources. So tune in next week. Please do subscribe, do like, do comment. If there's anything else I will be talking about, but I will be talking about all the comments I saw that ended with question marks that I did not get to. So we will leave that for next week. We'll start talking about the Super Bowl. And good luck to all of you. I hope you made some money this weekend.